This was chocolate milk the whole time. Probably thought it was coffee because that's what I do, but no. It was chocolate milk in a coffee mug. It was delicious. Anyway, what's up, bitches? Today is Friday, January 17th, 2014. My name's Ranbish, and this is not sit-down comedy. No, this is sit-down tragedy. So, just as a warning for anybody who heard me wrong and missed the title of the video, and missed the warning that I'm going to put in the description, sorry. Anyway, this video is pretty much not going to be funny at all. So get out while the getting out is good. I don't know what I'm saying. So I feel like this video is important, but not important enough that I needed to devote more than the 5 seconds of thought that I put into it. So, sorry, sort of. Anyway, for anyone who doesn't know, part of the reason sit-down comedy is so important to me, and also part of the reason I don't do sit-down comedy videos as much as I would like, I am what they call clinically depressed. And I don't really want to go into explaining exactly what that means, even though I feel like I'm constantly explaining it because lots of people have a myriad of misconceptions, and that's very frustrating for me and for other people. And should you ever have any questions, by all means, get a hold of me any way you can, and I will answer them for you or point you in the direction of how to get them answered, because something like 10% of all adults just in the US suffer from some sort of depression, and that's not including any other mental health issues, but it's just depression. And when you think about it, 10% is a lot of people to be suffering, but it's also small enough that it doesn't get talked about as often as it should. So I think the statistic is wrong, and probably a lot more people have issues with depression, and that might go down if people talked about it more. So I know I said I didn't really want to go into it, but I kind of just did. Anyway, to make it short, living with depression just means that most of the time it is really, really hard for me to be happy. And basically, I am either so ecstatic and bouncy and joyful and joking that I look in the mirror and basically I see a human male version of Pinkie Pie. Or, for whatever reason, I have a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And where a normal person would just say, some days are like that, even in Australia, my reaction, I don't necessarily go to the grocery store and buy a bottle of sleeping pills and plan to do something stupid, but my reaction to any kind of bad day, not just a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad one, but just a terrible day. You guys, this chocolate milk is making me burp a lot, and I apologize, but I don't regret the chocolate milk. My reaction to any slightly not good day is that my thoughts start slowly but surely sliding towards suicide, alliteration. And lately it has occurred to me that there are a lot of things about living with depression that suck out loud. One of which is that even though, I vaguely understand the science of depression, and it's all to do with brain chemistry, and my brain doesn't make enough of whatever chemical, and blah, blah, blah. Even though I understand that on an intellectual level, emotionally, just the fact that I have it at all makes me hate myself, and have a lot of behaviors and thought processes and habits that are a result of living with depression, and they make me hate myself even more. And so I thought it might be a little cathartic to make this video where I'm going to use pennies. See how shiny they are? I'm going to use pennies as a prop to illustrate how easy it should be to let go of those things, and simultaneously illustrate how easy it is not to actually let go of those things. And as I said, I gave this video 5 seconds of thought, and I don't regret that in the slightest, but around second 3.5, it did occur to me that pennies were kind of the perfect prop, because, like, let's say you take 1 penny. By itself, it doesn't really mean anything. It's almost, but not quite, completely worthless. But then you take another one, and then you take another one, and then you just keep adding more pennies, and eventually, because we give them importance in our heads, they become a big enough deal to make the world go round. And metaphor. So anyway, I'm just going to confess some things that I do that make me hate myself, which I would really like to stop doing, or at least stop hating myself for doing. First of all, as I said, I understand that depression is not my fault, and not something I can control, and not something there is a cure for. I still hate myself for having it. I would like to let that go. Another thing I do is none of your business. I don't know if you guys could see it, but I tossed that one away and it wound up on its side and just rolled off the table. That's kind of nice. Thing number 3 is also none of your business. On April 10th, 1995, my dad died in a car accident. He was driving. My mom and me and my little sister were all in the car. We survived. He did not. We were wearing seatbelts. He was not. And I hate him for that. I shouldn't say hate, but I'm mad at him for that. And I think that's perfectly justified, but I also think it's been almost 19 years, and I would really like to stop being mad at him. So that's fun. Another one. My stepdad was verbally abusive, and even though I haven't been in the same state as him since 2010, I'm perfectly aware of the fact that I'm still fundamentally flawed because of that. Let's get rid of that. Another one. She will never admit that he was like that. So the fact that my mom is married to him and I am her son kind of makes me think I'm just destined to have screwed up relationships, and maybe it's a good thing that I'm so perpetually single and the only guy I actually care about. None of your business. Another reason it's great that we're using pennies, I'm kind of dirt poor. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford to actually go to school and become a real photographer, maybe ever. And I kind of hate myself for not being Bruce Wayne, Harry Potter, wealthy. That's a dumb thing to hate yourself for, but I do. Anyway, I could go on, but I just want to show you guys that even if I could, physically take these things outside of my skull and toss them aside, they would inevitably come rolling back. And even if they didn't, depression is such... it's like a vine or something that keeps on growing even though it never gets any water, and it chokes everything around it. And even if I could get rid of everything I just told you about, or didn't tell you about because it's none of your business, I would still have all of these pennies. I warned you this video wasn't going to be funny. And I don't really have a way to end it. Just... I'm really tired. It's been almost 3 years since I went through group therapy because my depression got bad enough that I tried to kill myself. And most of the time I do a really great job of taking care of myself, but I'm just tired. Empirically, there's tons of evidence to support the theory that I'm basically awesome, and I'm just tired of being the only person who doesn't see that. I promise next time I make a video, it will be funny. I love you guys.